Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? Where do we come from? Mystery, mystery. Life is a riddle and a mystery. Mystery, mystery. Life is a riddle and a mystery. Where do we come from? Where are we going? Where do we come from? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we? Mystery, mystery, mystery. Life is a riddle and a mystery. Mystery, mystery. Life is a riddle and a mystery. Please rise in body or in spirit. Let's sing the oneness of everything. Far beyond the grasp of hands, for light to meet the eye, past the reaches of the mind. There find the key to nature's harmony in an architecture so entwined. Like the birds whose patterns grace the sky and carry all who join in love expanding. The message of peace will rise in flight, taking away
Good morning. Welcome. I just want to name what a beautiful song that is. Thank you, Dawn, for that opening today. I am the Reverend Megan Lloyd Joyner, community minister here for this congregation, the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Atlanta, where we are transforming lives through courageous action and soulful connection. Welcome to this multi-generational service. Welcome to the young and the young at heart. Welcome to sound and silence, to stillness and silliness. Welcome to those in costume and those in your church clothes, whatever that might mean for you. Welcome to the living and welcome to the dead. Today, we celebrate the thinness of the veil between the world of the living and the world of spirits. We remember those we have loved and those we have lost. We tune our senses to listen carefully to hear what the dead have yet to teach us. And we tune our hearts to tenderness and to care for ourselves and each other. And so welcome. Welcome one and welcome all. We are glad you are here. I am delighted to be leading worship this morning with Laura Beth Brown and Don Milton and Willie Sullivan and with the UUCA choir and with UU Moves and with our liturgist, Sonia Tensley Hook. And Sonia will come forward now to light our chalice. And let us join in the words of the chalice lighting together. May the light of this flame illuminate our tradition of seeking, invite all who yearn for acceptance, and ignite our passion for justice and peace.
Oh, thank you, choir. Thank you, UU Moves, for that moving anthem. So I wonder, Can anyone tell me why we are wearing costumes today? She said, "Don't you know, smarty pants?" Yes. Oh, I do. I'm just wondering if you do. Sure, because it's Halloween, which I heard someone say. Yes, but why do we wear costumes at Halloween? And for that matter, why do we celebrate Halloween? Any thoughts? Because ghosts are about. Yes, yes. We're going to talk a little bit more about that. So, yes, November 1st is All Saints Day. And what's November 2nd, Diane? All Souls Day, yes. Okay, we're gonna talk about all of these things. So Halloween was brought to the United States by the ancient Celts who fled the potato famine in the late 19th century. But they didn't call it Halloween. They called it this. Now, how do you say that? Yes! Yes, exactly, Samhain. Samhain was actually the Celtic New Year. It marked the beginning of the winter season. The Celts only recognized two seasons, winter and summer. And it was also considered the new year. So how did Samhain, the Celtic New Year, become Halloween? Well, the Celts also believed that at this time of the year, the veil, or the barrier or the boundary between the earthly and spiritual realms becomes permeable, allowing free communication between the living and the dead. And this is still a belief today, especially for many practicing pagans. Because the Celts believed that spirits could cross the thin barrier and return at Samhain, they developed some practices and customs to keep themselves safe in case any of those spirits were not so nice. So first, jack-o'-lanterns were designed to frighten away evil spirits. In Celtic Ireland, they would hollow out turnips and carve simple faces into them to use as handheld lanterns. Faces were carved rather than other symbols due to the Celtic belief that the head was the most sacred part of the human body as it housed a person's immortal soul. The use of pumpkins for this purpose came into play when the Celts arrived in North America and found more pumpkins than turnips. Now, masks and disguises were also used to protect oneself from spirits returning at Samhain who may have less than honorable intentions. With a disguise to hide one's identity of a living being on earth, there goes a smarty. It's been happening all morning. A person could walk freely among the returning spirits without being noticed. And finally, a Scottish custom called guising, where people would dress as ghosts and ghouls and parade from house to house in song and dance, was meant to actually intimidate those malicious spirits that crossed into our realm. If geisers were refused a treat from a home they were helping to protect, they would retaliate with a prank or trick, hence the term trick or treat. So now you know why we celebrate Halloween and why we wear costumes and even why we trick or treat. But you know, Samhain is not just about warding off evil spirits. It is also about welcoming back the spirits of our beloved ancestors and listening for and communicating with them. The ancient Celtic pagan holiday, Samhain, influenced the current Christian ritual of All Souls and All Saints Day, where families at this time visit cemeteries, light candles, and share memories of their deceased loved ones. In this picture here, we see an honoring of All Souls in Transylvania. Members of our sibling Unitarian congregations in Transylvania process to cemeteries with candles and lanterns in hand, sometimes in silence, sometimes singing songs of remembrance to honor their dearly departed. And because our roots are in the Judeo-Christian tradition, some Unitarian Universalist congregations like ours also honor those who have passed each year. And let's not forget Dia de los Muertos, or Day of the Dead. While there are differing views as to the exact origins of this Mexican holiday, most agree that at least some of its rituals are the result of European influence. What sets Dia de los Muertos apart is that it is much more a time of celebration of ancestors rather than just a time of mourning. And pictured here is a Dia de los Muertos parade in Mexico City. So today, in worship, we honor and celebrate the fullness of this time of year, this time when the veil is thin. And in that spirit, I would like to invite anyone with a costume to please come to the front, either on the chancel or in front of it, and join me in leading the movement prayer. So anybody in a costume, come forward. I'm seeing lots of witches today, and I'm loving it. Yes. Yes, come forward. We need a few people to join me up here. Yes, thank you. Oh my goodness. We have another one coming up here. Come on up. Come on, here we go. Do you want to come up here? Excellent. Okay, so please rise in body or spirit and join us in the movement prayer today. Okay, so first we bow to honor the Spirit of life. We lift our arms and embrace the gifts of Spirit. We bring these gifts unto ourselves with gratitude and breathe and smile. We share these gifts with the world. We remember to be present. Honor, embrace, gratitude, share, be present. Blessed be and amen. You may be seated. Thank you, all of our Halloweeners, all of our trick-or-treaters. As this is a multi-generational service, we are inviting our kindergarten through high school age children and youth to remain in the service today. As a reminder, please feel free to utilize the fidget and craft items on our Wonder Wall. And we do have childcare available for the youngest children if they would like to recess at this time. And now please take this opportunity to greet your neighbor.
Plant a tree in place of a grave. Plant a patch of trees in place of a cemetery. Put a flower bed around each tree. Lay the ashes of the deceased to rest by the stump, buried or scattered among the flowers, surrounded by mourning friends and family, hands clasped in remembrance, contemplation, and farewell.
Remembrance need not be the time relegated to the tomb sweeping festival. Come together and water the tree. Press close to it. Caress it. Hug it. Perhaps you'll hear the deceased still at your side, earnestly and sincerely exhorting you.
Don't forget to enjoy the good scenery. When the wind rustles leaves and branches, a flock of birds hopping and singing in the treetop as if offering greetings.
Sunlight, stars, and moon provide company. The trees are in touch with each other, as if the memories of the deceased linked with each other underground. New and tender shoots sprout contentedly, each affirming the fruit of cultivation.
Souls moored at the foot of each tree, resting peacefully, continue to grow. Regardless of how far they go, they'll return to the original road, to the cherished memories of friends and family.
I brought my spirit to the sea. I stood upon the shore. I gazed upon infinity. I heard the waters roar. And then there came a sense of peace. Some whisper calmed my soul. Some ancient ministry of stars had made my spirit whole. I brought my spirit to the trees that loomed against the sky. I touched each wandering, careless breeze to know if God was nigh. And then I felt an inner flame that fiercely burned my tears. Upright I rose from bended knee to meet the asking years.
Let us put hands on hearts. Feel the heartbeat, connection to life. Breathe in peace and say to yourself silently, I will love myself. I will love others. And that love can heal the world. At this time, we hear the joys and sorrows of this congregation. The family of Ruth Gogol invites us to celebrate her life at her memorial service here at UUCA. This service will be held on Sunday, November 6th at 1:30 p.m. Jemida Orange was buried yesterday. Jemida was an activist here in Atlanta, a friend of UUCA, along with her father, the Reverend James Orange. Jemida organized Martin Luther King Jr. commemoration marches. She worked with SCLC Women and Georgia Coalition for the People's Agenda. And she passed away just before the election that she had worked so hard on began. We hold the family of Jemida Orange in our hearts today and those here in UUCA who are missing her. And we hold in our hearts all those who have voted early and all those who will vote this week. You are invited now to say the names of people you are holding in your hearts this morning. Speak their names out loud into this holy space now. We pray that all beings might find connection, that all people might find comfort, and that all of us might find ways to be more loving to one another. Spirit of life, love eternal, we rest now in holy gratitude, surrendering to a mystery beyond ourselves, asking forgiveness for our mistakes, those times we have been selfish or thoughtless, and breathing in and breathing out, we offer grace. We forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love. We honor our earth, who supports and sustains life, and we breathe in, opening our hearts to wonder for just this one moment, feeling a deep connection with all beings. We calm our bodies. We calm our minds. We breathe in peace, and then we exhale, and we relax into this space that our intentions make sacred. We enter into shared silence.
I brought my spirit to the sea. I stood upon the shore. I gazed upon infinity. I heard the waters roar.
This morning, we're pleased to welcome Patty Gezzi. Patty is the program coordinator for El Refugio, today's Give Away the Plate recipient.
Good morning, and thank you for having me. We at El Refugio have enjoyed working with you over the past couple of years on clothing drives and holiday gift drives. Today, I'm here to share how we walk alongside people at Stewart Detention Center and their families and invite you to be part of this journey. Stewart Detention Center, located in rural Georgia, detains more than 1,000 people daily, from Venezuela, Nicaragua, Cuba, Haiti, Cameroon, and other countries. SDC has a history of medical abuse, excessive use of solitary confinement, and other human rights violations. There is no reason for immigration detention to exist, and we are fighting to shut down SDC, where 9 people have needlessly died. Until that day, El Refugio remains an organization of hospitality and presence. We welcome families at our hospitality house, where they find friendship while visiting their loved ones at SDC. We visit people who do not have family to visit them. We take calls via our bilingual helpline from people, and we help them get to their families when they are released. We send books and put money on commissary accounts. For those awaiting deportation, we provide a bag of clothing. A recipient of such a clothing bag, who is not a native English speaker, wrote recently, "Please, if someone can support you with clothes, shoes, and backpacks, do so. They do not know how beautiful the heart feels when receiving help from people we do not even know, but they contribute their grain of sand." Detention strips people of their dignity, and you give a little of that dignity back with your gift. I have postcards with a QR code linking to volunteer opportunities, and we would love for you to join us on this journey. Thank you.
Thank you so much for being with us here today, Patty. This morning's offering will now be given and very gratefully received.
This is a song from the movie Coco. You can see some clips behind it. Isn't it beautiful? I know. If you haven't seen this movie, it was released in 2017 by Disney and Pixar. Disney and Pixar are both famously insular in their movie making, but in this film, they brought in countless consultants and focus groups from Mexico, specifically in Latin America, to try to make this movie feel just like Dia de los Muertos, a beautiful, bright, and a sweet, moving story. This is a song from that movie called Remember Me. Remember me, though I have to say goodbye, remember me. Don't let it make you cry, for even if I'm far away, I hold you in my heart. I sing a secret song to you each night that we're apart. Remember me. Though I have to travel far, remember me. Each time you hear a sad guitar, know that I'm with you the only way that I can be. Until you're in my arms again, remember me.
And now, will you join me in the dedication of the offering? To the work of this congregation, which is weaving a tapestry of love and action we call community, we dedicate our lives, and these are offerings. Thank you. If you brought a photo of a loved one this morning and have not yet had a chance to place it on our altar, I want to give you that opportunity now. I have a photo. This is a photo of my friend Sam and his beloved wife, Julie. And I absolutely, even though the top is cut off, I love this photo of the two of them because I love the smile on Sam's face. Sam had a smile that was contagious, but we didn't often see it. It usually morphed right into a raucous belly laugh. And I don't remember all the things we laughed about, but I remember what it felt like when he made me laugh. So I'm going to put my photo right here. I wonder if anyone here has a friend who makes them laugh like that. I mean, like really laugh, like belly laugh, like laugh so hard that you cry kind of laugh. Any friends like that out there? It's hard for me to see you. Yes, you know what I'm talking about. And I wonder if there's anyone out there who has a friend who is there for you when you cry. The kind of person who says it's all right, but doesn't make you try to stop crying. The kind of person who accepts your tears and loves you through them. Do you have friends like that? My friend Sam was that kind of friend. We were that kind of friend to each other. When I was sad, Sam reminded me that being sad was a part of being human. And when Sam was sad, he asked for what he needed. And that was often just some time together. And he could make me laugh harder than anyone that I have ever known. A lot of people thought that Sam's jokes were really, really corny, like grown kind of corny, but I thought they were hilarious. Julie always used to say, "It's good he has you." She would say, "It's good I have you too," because she had to listen to the jokes all the time. I think about Sam a lot at this time of year. I think about him for two reasons. The first is that his birthday was October 28th. And so his birthday was just this past Friday. And he would have been 42 years old. And the second reason I think about him is that Sam is not 42 years old. Sam died 9 years ago. And his death was unexpected and it was tragic. And as you can tell, it broke my heart. And it broke the heart of many, many, many people who loved him. And so at this time of year, when people begin to decorate their houses and their yards like they do nowhere else in Atlanta, I mean, really, we pull out all the stops. We've got ghosts and goblins and spooks and spiders. At this time of year, when the weather turns cool, when the leaves begin to fall, when the air is crisp and the nights grow darker, I think about how people for thousands of years have felt that there is something special about this time of year. Something special that connects us to those who have gone before. Laura Beth shared with us about the many traditions that happen this time of year, celebrating that thinning of the veil between the world of the living and the world of the dead. Celebrations like Samhain and All Souls and All Saints' Day and Dia de los Muertos, they help us bring those we have loved and lost closer in a way that can sometimes feel a little spooky, but also comforting and special. And when we remember our dead in joyful ways, we are reminded of the preciousness of their lives and the preciousness of our lives too. At this time of year, when the spirit world feels closer, I think about my friend who is no longer in this world and yet lives on in the memories of everyone who loved him, including me. My friend who lives on in his daughter and in my daughter who is named in his honor. I think about my friend who lives on in the ways that I experience our friendship even now after he is gone. Because sometimes I feel that Sam is close to me, making me laugh again, or comforting me when I cry. And sometimes when I listen very, very, very closely, I hear his voice telling me what he thinks about something. He was so smart. Or sharing advice, which he also liked to do a lot. Or just telling a funny, corny joke. And I don't always understand these experiences, but I am grateful for them. I wonder if you have a friend or a family member, perhaps a human family member, perhaps a furry family member, who has died. A lot of people. Because this is a part of being human too, right? That we love people and we love animals who are mortal and will eventually die. And this is an experience that we are not alone in. It is a sorrow that we all share. And when we share our memories and our photos and our experience of those who we have loved, who have died, just like we have this morning, the burden of that sorrow is also shared. And we are able to celebrate together the joy and the love we have experienced with those who are no longer with us in body, but are always with us in spirit. In our reading this morning, the poet says, plant a tree in place of a grave. Plant a patch of trees in place of a cemetery. And why does he say this? Wu Sheng, who wrote that poem, was a farmer and an environmental activist from Taiwan. And he, in fact, did plant a patch of trees in real life. He planted a forest on land near his farm. And so he writes about the power of the spirits of the trees. And when he writes about the wind in the branches and bird song from the treetops, those are all things that he had experienced. He writes, the trees are in touch with each other, as if the memories of the deceased linked with each other underground, and new and tender shoots sprout contentedly, each affirming the fruit of cultivation. We have planted our own patch of trees here this morning. And the memories of our beloved dead are linked in our collective remembering. And new and tender shoots are sprouting because every memory, every shared moment recalled brings something of the dead into the land of the living and affirms our connection with those we have loved, those we still love, affirms the cultivation of family ties and the bonds of friendship. And even though those we love may die, those bonds live on in our remembering, in our listening for the ways that our loved ones speak to us through trees and leaves and the wind and darkening days, and especially in the ways that we bring what they taught us into our own lives. And thankfully, we do not face that pain alone. Because the rituals of the celebrations of All Souls and All Saints and Dia de los Muertos and Samhain and Halloween are time that we spend with family and friends. And so remembrance becomes joyful. And when we together tune our hearts to listen in a special way at this special time of year, to hear the breath of our ancestors. I'm looking for my tissue. That's what I'm doing. Sometimes you need one. Oh, Sam. It's when we tune our hearts to listen in that special way. That's when we hear the breath of our ancestors, right? That's when we hear the whispers of our beloveds. That's when we hear the echoes of shared tears and shared laughter. We hear our loved ones' secret songs, and we hold them in our hearts, and they live on in us. So let us sing now together and see if we can hear our beloveds in the music of our closing song. Let's sing Breaths by Birago Diop and Issei Barnois. Thank you. Thank you.
This part goes like this. Sa, whoosh, ah, whoosh,
extinguish our chalice, we are reminded that the flame burns on. In memory and in the spiritual lessons that we hold in our hearts after this shared time together. Likewise, though the flame of a life may burn no longer, the warmth of that flame lives on in our hearts and in our spirits. Those who have died have never, never left. Let us tune our senses to hear them still. And let us love one another in the ways that they taught us to love. Go in peace, friends. Go in peace.